Season 6 continues here with a matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. They have the biggest acquisition of the offseason, Paolo signing with them, and certainly think it's an interesting fit. I don't know if the Mavericks are all that good. Currently tied for 9th in the West right now, but seeing, a 90 overall player move teams makes, puts them on the short list for teams I want to see in a regular season game. And so today we take them on 8-5 versus 6-5 here early in the season. Now, I can't get any further on into the episode without saying, go Birds, baby! Of course, I am doing the voiceover for this episode the night of the Super Bowl. And so, I'm feeling pretty good right now with my Eagles winning the Super Bowl in such decisive fashion. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and commentate on this game here. Albert Ellis finds a wide open man in the corner. Michael Graham splashes home the three. That was the kind of shot that made me willing to move off of Jalen Duren, something that just wasn't in our offense. It wasn't something we saw much from Michael Graham in his rookie year, hitting the jumpers. But if he can stand in the corner and hit open threes, I think we might be in some pretty good shape here. Here he gets the offensive rebound. Gives Saramago another chance. He misses on the layup. Misses again. 3 misses on that one possession for Ayrton Saramago. Bit of a rough one there. Forcing the miss on the other end, though. Mago able to get his man to fall for the pump fake and get that shot to fall. Rudolph Garrett, he'll isolate here on Wembanyama. Not Victor Wembanyama, of course. The Mavericks have a Wembanyama of their own. He couldn't get that to go. Banchero gets McKnight in the air and pulls up from the mid-range to tie this at 10 apiece. Free throws now make it 12-12, and Wembanyama puts Dallas on top with the triple. Ignites. He dribbles right into the feet of Kyrie Irving. Good Shafino with it. He pulls up for 3 behind a screen and pulls it right. Mago in the post. He's got the point guard on him. He finds Andre Hardy. He has a good look from 3, but was too strong with it. Pick and roll Mavericks. Shafino pull-up jumper. He's too strong. Some missed jumpers early for JHS. McKnight's able to end a little bit of a cold jump shooting spell with that drilled triple. Blocked away by Saramago on the Kyrie Irving drive. Going right back to McKnight here on the other end. This time it was a bit more difficult of a shot. The defense was there, but that's not going to keep us from going right back to him. And he's hit 2 of the last 3 attempts here. How about another one? McKnight curls off a screen and make that 3 triples in 4 attempts here, all in a row, to give Vancouver the lead. Banchero blocked away by Mago again. He's making a defensive impact early, despite the fact that maybe his shot hasn't gone in as consistently. Maybe Banchero showing some nice interior defense there on Andre Hardy. Diabate rattles home a triple, tying us back up once again. Feels like we've been in a 1-possession game this entire first quarter. Mago still unable to get warm here. Andre Hardy will earn himself a pair of free throws, though, on the offensive rebound. Step back triple for Quickly is too strong. Hardy finds Mago in transition, and another miss forced there, this time by Isaiah Stewart. As you can see, just 1 of 6 early for Saramago in this game. He could not find his shots in the first quarter. It wasn't just all jump shots either. He's been missing some shots in the paint, which is not something you see all too often from him. Clayton Rodman was really solid for us in our first spotlight game of the season. Drills that triple there. Transition. Mago inside. He misses again. Banchero giving our guys some problems here. Quick trigger on the jumper. Christie does a nice job boxing out on the interior. For those who say all he does is score. After the pump fake there, Saramago gets his second basket. He's definitely trying to get himself going. It just hasn't really worked out all that much. 4-point lead. Christie for 3. Misfires. Paolo on the rebound. Quickly takes a screen and rattles home a mid-range jumper. Down to a minute left here in the first quarter. Mago. He gets it stolen away by Quickly. Just kind of dribbled it right into him there. And then in transition, Paolo gets to the free throw line. We get a little bit of an update on Albert Ellis. We will be going over the stats in full once we get to the end of the episode after the gameplay. Leonard Miller, no good. Tie ball game. Mavericks moving things around. It ends up in the hands of Kyrie Irving. He's spinning, trying to get an advantage against Leonard Miller, but the defense is really good. Forces a tough shot. Miller on the rebound as well. Down to 1 second. Miller tries to take the lead at the end of the first, but no good. 28 all. After one. Really a back and forth quarter. Neither team, I think, ever led by more than 5 at any point. I don't even know if the lead ever even got to 5. Miller, catch and shoots. Pulled it left. Don't mind the shots we're getting. They're just not all going down for us at the moment. Kyrie gets the scoring going here in the second quarter. Ellis curls off a screen. Tons of space from 3, and that is easy. Or easy A. Pick and roll quickly. Trying to answer back. That won't go. Screen set for Rudolph Garrett. He's firing up a 3. A lot of 3-pointers back and forth for the moment. Christie tries to join the party, and he does there on that deep triple. Went off a pretty good game, as you see there. 5 of 6 in his last outing. Kyrie. It's been all 3-point attempts so far in the second, it feels like. Christie pulls up another one. Too strong. Like to see one of these teams try to do something on the inside. We'll get at least an attempt here from Dallas. The defense was sound. Ellis off the catch. He's also too strong. A lot of missed jumpers here in the second quarter. Quickly trying to add to the total, but he rattles it home. That was some pretty good defense there. It could not shake Emmanuel Quickly. Another 3-ball missed for Vancouver here in the second quarter. Step back in transition. Kyrie scores, and there you have it, a 5-point lead. Ellis fires one up. Another miss, but Graham on the glass didn't even come back down with the ball. He just snatched it and scored it. Stolen away by Max Christie. Not often does somebody steal the ball away from Kyrie Irving. Ellis inside. Acrobatic attempts. Finally, we try for a 2-pointer, and it actually goes in our favor. Stewart no good from beyond the arc. Pass ahead to Leonard Miller. He goes inside and steps out of bounds on the baseline for no apparent reason. Paolo in the post. Misses with the left. Cutter to Ellis. He finds Garrett. Good ball movements, but no good for Vancouver on that possession. Paolo trying to extend the Mavericks lead, and it's another missed 3-ball. Imagine if these teams were just shooting a little better, how high the score would be at this point in the quarter. Garrett, though, makes the most of that chance. Paolo off the Jalen Hood-Schifino pass. Gives Dallas back the lead. Downhill is Ellis. He pulls up inside the free throw line. We can get Ellis going. We're very hard to beat. Off a double screen, Hood-Schifino misfires. Christie, that's a deep one, and he nailed it. Great shot by him. 46-42 here. 4.5 minutes remain in the ball game. Kyrie. Rebounded by Michael Graham. Pick and roll. Ellis. No good again from deep. Schifino, nice move on the spin, but the pull-up is no good from him. He has not been very good for Dallas with his jump shots. Christie takes a step inside the arc, but put a little bit too much mustard on the attempt. A spin and a shot by Hood-Schifino. Draws himself a trip to the line, and Vancouver will make some substitutions. McKnight checks right back in and goes right back to what he was doing in the first, nailing his 4th triple of the half. Saramago trying to get going, and he does there. Same strategy, different personnel, and a better result for Vancouver here late in the second. Garrett trying to drive on Paolo. He just drives into traffic, and there are a number of Mavericks defenders. One of them gets the steal, and they put in perfect work in transition there to get the and one. McKnight trying to add to his 3-point total. A rare miss for him tonight. Paolo catch and shoot. He's had himself a pretty good half for the Dallas Mavericks. He's really keeping them in it. Nice find by Albert Ellis. Saramago was just all alone right underneath the basket. How do you forget him right there? Late shot clock heave for the Mavericks is going to be no good. I don't know how Hood-Schifino had the on fire logo on him. He's not really been a very good scorer, as Saramago finishes with some power on that one. Isaiah Stewart, the unlucky recipient of a poster. Schifino has been good in other areas for sure. That's probably why he had the on fire symbol. In transition, feed inside to Ellis, but he can't get the contested layup to go. The struggles of a 6'2" point guard. Dallas passing it around. First half coming to a close. Paolo misfires from deep, and so Vancouver 28 points in the first, and they match it with 28 in the second as well. Dallas couldn't quite keep pace here in the second quarter, and we take a look at our halftime stats. We have 3 players in double figures. It's our 3 stars for our team. Saramago able to come in the second quarter and put in some work to help with a pretty rough first quarter from him, and we're going to jump right into the fourth here. It's going to be a 1-point game heading into the fourth quarter, and we get the fourth started with a really nice finish by Ayrton Saramago. Worth noting that Saramago had himself a pretty good third quarter as well, so he had a rough start in the first, but really brought it back in these last 2 quarters here as we head into the final quarter of a close game. Rodman misfires. In transition, quickly drills a 3. Pick and roll, Rodman. Trying again from deep. It was a tougher shot this time, but he got the result he wanted this time around. Quickly tries for the response, but he short-armed it. Mago has Winslow. Defense collapses, and he finds a wide-open green light McKnight, who rattles home a triple. Vancouver now leads by 7. Quickly attacking our weakest defender. Good help defense there by Saramago. Nearly had another block. Here he pulls up for 3. Too strong, and the rebound goes to Kyrie, who now gets a screen from the mid-range. He's very dangerous in that area, but we're not going to have to see it come to fruition this time. In the post, turning around, Mago. Looked like that kind of post-up gave the defense more time to come and affect that shot. If he had just gone straight downhill, it might have been easier. Andre Hardy on the offensive glass. Gets some free throws. Hood-Schifino from deep. Just not been his night with that jumper. McKnight starting to cool down a little bit here. Back-to-back misses. Quickly to Winslow. He has space to fire. On the glass is Andre Hardy. Leonard Miller now. Attacking downhill. A nice finish with the foul. The lead is double digits for the Blizzard. Mavericks have done a pretty nice job staying with us all game long, but we're starting to separate here a little bit down the stretch. Double comes, and Rudolph Garrett has a wide open three. Does not waste that opportunity. Vancouver into triple digits now. With 7 minutes remaining, Hood-Schifino, can he get his jumper going? Another miss. This would be a different story if Hood-Schifino had any semblance of a jumper in this game. And a tough fader by Saramago off the glass. Falls in. Dallas with it. Kyrie has it on the wing. He passes it to Banchero in the corner. Saramago is in the area, but he drilled it right in his eye. Ellis with the response is going to be left with a miss. Schifino inside to Diabate. Nice job running the floor, and his teammate finds him for the flush. Knight gets another chance. Another miss. Not been his fourth quarter here. Kind of maybe the opposite of Saramago, where he started excellently and hasn't really been able to replicate it as the game has gone on. Graham stuffed on his way to the basket. Like to see him at least pulling out a little bit of the dribble moves, though. It was nice seeing Jalen Duren do that from time to time with us, and if he can replicate it, I would think it would only add to our offense here. Ellis off the screen, misfires here. Now trying to get Saramago off an off-ball screen, and that one has a much better result. 11-point lead here, under 4 minutes remaining. Dallas needs to pretty much play perfectly down the stretch here. Banchero, no good from the mid-range. Ellis with the rebound. Going downhill is Mago, and just too strong. He's had that on fire circle for most of this fourth quarter. Kyrie trying to shake McKnight, and he does. That's just a sweet jumper there. Mago takes a tough look and misfires. Under 2 minutes now. Not much time left for Dallas to do their thing. Blocked away! Rudolph Garrett. One basket here could pretty much be the dagger. Ellis going to be the one to take it on the baseline, and that makes it a 12-point game. Vancouver will win at home 117-101 against the Dallas Mavericks. Those first three quarters, it was really back and forth. They say basketball is a game of runs, but there wasn't actually that much in the way of runs. The second quarter definitely had more runs than the first, but it was always within a couple baskets here. Ayrton Saramago took a tough first quarter and ended up 38-5-5. Ellis only 12 points on 15 shots. Wasn't his best day scoring, but he did get a double-double, as did Michael Graham. And then Andre Hardy, 15 boards. Nice. That'll take us through December 9th here for the end of the episode. The team is 20-11, currently second place in the conference, and we get our first look at kind of just how the team is doing through the first roughly third portion of the year. Saramago is averaging 30 points per game. If he keeps this up, this would be his career high for the 5th consecutive year when it comes to points. Rebounds per game, pretty much identical to last year. His assists are up, his steals are up, but his blocks are down. His efficiency from the field is even better than last year. It is a little bit down from three, but he's still shooting 44%. So I don't think you mind those numbers at all. He's once again going to be one of the leaders in the clubhouse for MVP as long as he can stay healthy and keep these numbers up. Cameron McKnight, if this would continue, this would be his first time under 20 points per game in his career. I think we're at the point where we just have a lot of mouths to feed here in the franchise. And so his very consistent 21, 4.5, and 3.5 just might not be what we get from him this year. What we are getting is excellent efficiency. The efficiency that we saw from last year is pretty much identical. 48% from the field, 42%, a little bit up from last year. But both seasons, obviously, really, really good stuff. And he's been an incredible free throw shooter throughout his career in Vancouver. Coming in at third in scoring is Rudolph Garrett, not Albert Ellis, for us this season so far. I think over the long haul, this will probably flip. But Ellis is taking more of a passing role, it looks like, this year. I think his three-point percentage will come up, and once that does, I think that'll put him above Rudolph Garrett eventually. But there's a chance that it stays right around here. I think, Albert Ellis, he's a 96 overall player. Is he going to be somebody that's content scoring 16 a game on this squad? He could certainly be somebody that I can see wanting to take that Kyrie path where he wanted to split from LeBron so that he could be the number one option on a team. I think he's talented enough to do it. We've seen him lead lineups at times that have done really well when he was the number one option on the court. And so I think, we have a restricted free agency contract coming up. We get to match it no matter what, but it is, I think, something that we're going to have to monitor about his happiness, because if I'm a player of his caliber, if you just go based on the league, if we switch here from stats now to rosters, he is currently the 5th best player in basketball based on overall. Now he's getting a +2 boost, so he'd be a little bit lower without those, but a top 10 player in the NBA regardless of any increases or anything like that. So that's probably not a guy that's going to be content going 16-8 for very much longer. So we're going to have to figure out a way to maybe get his numbers up to keep him happy, or perhaps risk losing him. Moving on down the line here, Michael Graham is up from 9 points per game up to 11 this year. His rebounds are up about a rebound and a half. So that's looking good. His field goal percentage is down. His 3-point percentage is up a little bit. But I think he's doing just fine. We're getting 10 points per game from Rodman, which would be his career high. He is looking really good efficiency-wise, 49% from the field and 41% from three. That's really good stuff. So despite the fact that we maybe didn't get a ton of development from him, we are seeing his efficiency go up across the board, which you like to see. Leonard Miller, this would be his career high in terms of points per game. So you're kind of starting to see why maybe guys like Albert Ellis, his points are down, because there are a lot of guys across our lineup that are averaging their career highs right now. And it's kind of taken away from guys like McKnight and Ellis from what we're maybe expecting or used to seeing from them. Max Christie averaging 9 points per game, 3-3. He's over 50% from the field. I don't know if he keeps that up. I would love it if he could. It would be by far his career high. Also shooting 45% from three is really, really good. Andre Hardy, we've had efficiency problems with our backup center spots throughout this entire series, and finally it looks like we might have somebody who's solved it. He's shooting 48% from the field and 40% from three. Not on high volume, obviously, but when you have limited chances, I want you to make the most of them. And Andre Hardy's doing that better than most guys have done. We did get a little bit of an injury for Greenlight McKnight, and Saramago played a little bit, but still, I think that's 13 total minutes this year, so he hasn't been able to really get much going on the court yet. But there's your Vancouver Blizzard player stats update. And let's now go ahead and take a look at where the conference stands. So number one is Sacramento. They have 2 less wins than us, but also 3 less losses. That has them in the 1 spot. But that's pretty close here. The Suns in the 3rd spot. I mean, we just saw on a screen earlier, Dante Hardy up to a 94 overall. So he's become one of the best players in basketball, and he's leading the Suns. We do not see the Rockets, and we do not see the Spurs, who are currently 9-17. That's kind of crazy. I wonder if they've had an injury or something. I mean, how is this starting 5 9-17? It has to be injury related because their bench isn't even all that bad either. But it's not great by any means, but it's certainly not bad. A little bit of a strange start to the conference through 30 games. We also see the Sonics here, currently 9-18. Taking a look at the East, the Nets are the number 1 seed, with Isaiah Collier, Jalen Green, Bilal Coulibaly, who they got for the number 2 pick, Corey Owens, and Nick Claxton. They have a really good bench. They have 4 players coming off their bench that are rated 80 overall. So we know how much 2K overvalues bench compared to starters. I feel like starters should play more of an impact on your winning than they do in 2K. For example, Boston at 10-16 with this lineup, just because their bench isn't amazing after their top 8. It's just wild to me, and it shouldn't be that way. But it is. That's how 2K works in the sim engine. That's all I've got here for this episode. I guess I could show you that the trade that we made at the very end of last episode to get Peyton Pritchard. We did that to get some very important badges here for Clayton Robin. We might have to switch off of Mini Marksman because it's actually looking like he won't get it based on this graph. Deadeye's looking the same here, but for some reason Shifty Shooter is. It looks like maybe because Clayton Robin was already close to acquiring it. But these are the badges that I want, so I'm gonna keep them on here for now. Looks like we'll get Shifty Shooter, which is the one I wanted the most. I'd love to get these other 2 as well. We'll see if it actually ends up working. But that will be the end of this episode. We'll be back soon with more Vancouver Blizzard basketball. And until then, bring the Blizzard.